How's it going, lads? So I'm listening, and welcome to the crew wish list. Now I know a bunch of people have already done these. Probably your favorite YouTubers have already done these. However, I would like to do one as well. Maybe I'm gonna cover some that they haven't yet. Now that the beta's over, I can kind of get more nitty gritty and just point out little things in the game or things I like to see in the game. Now I'm probably gonna do 3 parts of this. So starting off today, I'm gonna do 3 points I think in every video. So first point the first thing I'd like to see in the crew is more realistic prices. Now I was watching, I want to say, Black Panther's video on the crew and on the crew beta, and he said something like a Golf was 87,000 credits in game and like a GTR was less than that or something like that. Now, I'm not asking for the price to be, super realistic. I would just like to see them be a bit more balanced because, in what world is the Golf the same price as a GTR or even more expensive than a GTR? It just doesn't really suit. But maybe that's what they were going for. Maybe the Golf has something hidden in it. I don't know. However, I would like to see more balanced prices just, to kind of not really give it a realism or realistic effect, just to kind of balance it out a bit more, I guess you could say. Now, the second thing I like to see is longer daytime cycles. Now, I was watching some videos on the crew as well, and when I was watching them, it kind of looked as if the night was longer than the day. Now, again, it might just be me, it might just be, when I joined, or when I started watching the video, or joined the stream or whatever. But when I was watching it, it kind of looked as if, say for example, a whole day is 24 minutes. So like a minute is an hour in game. Let's just say that for example. It looked as if, a day was, say, I don't know, it wasn't split in halves. It was as if the night, from dawn to dusk, it's kind of hard to explain. Pretty much it was as if the night had a longer time frame than the actual daytime. It could just be because of the sunset or sunrise, how that dragged on or something like that. However, when I was watching the videos, it did look as if the night time was longer. Now, don't get me wrong, the night is nice. However, for video making purposes or just in general, this whole game is based on the whole of America, and when you explore something, maybe it's just me, I want to see it in the daytime, so I would like to see, maybe say it's 24 minutes, so 18 minutes of daytime, 6 minutes of nighttime, something like that. That would be great to see. And the third thing I would like to see is, this is a bit picky, this is getting a bit nitty gritty picky, however, more options for customization. Now, I don't mean add more stuff, because they have 200 something rims and a bunch of body kits for the cars. But what I mean, if you looked at it, there was a street spec, a dirt spec, a race spec, and etc. I'd like to see maybe a bit more, and I'm not entirely sure what else they could add. However, I do think it'd be pretty cool to see if they could, add maybe a I don't know, a budget spec, if that makes sense. So you got your street spec, you got your race spec, you got your dirt spec. Maybe you have your a budget spec. So say they look at how much money you have at the beginning of the game or whenever, and they kind of build a car for that budget for you and try and make it as good as possible. Or maybe a snow spec, so you build a car especially for snow, so you get the chains and the tires. Something like that would be awesome to see in the game. But that's going to wrap it up for part 1 of my crew wish list. I'd love to know what you guys want to see in the game, or maybe you agree with my thoughts, maybe you don't. Be sure to tell me in the comment section below. Also, whilst you're down there, be sure to leave a rating, and on that note, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.